Thought I'd do a little quick video. Got all three models of the Rolex Submariner in my possession. I buy and sell a lot of Rolex, so I just so happen to have a 5513, which would represent a vintage, and a 16610, prior model to the new ceramic. And so I thought I'd do a quick little video to kind of show some of the highlights and differences for anyone contemplating buying one of these. The first watch here, first I gotta say a disclaimer, because the Houdinki guys and the RPR guys are gonna eat me alive if I don't disclaim this. This is a 5513, and I've got a refinished dial on it at the moment. The original matte dial, Meter's first matte dial, is having some new lume put on. It was totally, the lume had totally deteriorated, gone away basically, and the white plots were still there. But anyway, I'm having that touched up at a very trusted dial refinisher. And so I got this gilt 369 Explorer dial that I threw on here just for now. And this is a example of a 5513 Submariner. Got the original riveted bracelet. I believe it's a 7836. Pretty nice bracelet. This is typically what you'll see if you're out shopping. Not this dial, of course, but the regular sub dial. And these things are really getting collectible, people. So if you see a nice one, the nicer dial, original bracelet maybe the box and accessories, jump on it, because they've done nothing but go up here lately. So these typically sell, if you get a gloss dial, later dial, or a replacement dialed one, you can get them for as little as $6,000-7,000. But the sky's the limit. And if this were a true gilt Explorer 369 Explorer dial, we're talking $150,000 US. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for people who have never seen one of these, and the, you know, even though this is a refinished dial, you're not going to see one of these every day. Set that down. Get the original box for it. This is the anchor. It's a 200 meter sub anchor, and this is the original Your Oyster manual. 1966 is the year of this watch. Here's the swim-proof tag, green hang tag. They did not come with chronometer tags. These were non-chronometer rated watches. So this has a 1530 caliber movement. I believe they also came with the 1520. Plastic crystal, and also of interest to some people, this is the original Tropical 19 dome crystal, the non-super dome, but just the dome. You could see the crystals were quite pronounced in the doming. Lots of nice distortions. That's what the vintage guys like. So typically, if you're after a vintage watch, you're after a vintage watch. You know, I'm not going to talk you into a more modern watch. I mean, they don't really so much make a good practical everyday watch. But you know, if you're after a good investment and you really like the vintage look, one of these 5513 Submariners, you can't go wrong. here. This is my own personal everyday wear watch. This is a 16610 date, pre-ceramic. Got a 3135 movement in it. 93-150 Fliplock. This is a good watch for somebody who's looking for their first Rolex. They want to buy the quintessential Rolex, the Submariner. These are plentiful. Relatively cheap. You can get them anywhere from 55 up to say 7,000 for a nice one. And you want to try to get one in the box, of course. And here's the original box. Got the paperwork. I will be selling this watch. It just came back from being serviced at ABC in LA. And it's typically what the box looks like. Cushion. Complimentary Rolex polish cloth. Yeah, these are a good all-around watch. I wore this thing 17 years. This was my daily wear. Never missed a beat. Kept chronometer time up until the day I had it serviced. There's nothing wrong with it. I used this thing. I did everything. I played sports. I backpacked. I chopped wood even. Swam with it. Just a good all-around watch. 16610 Submariner date. And then there's a no date version of it also. Aluminum bezel, sapphire crystal, all the modern features that you'd want in a Rolex everyday wear watch. Very practical choice. The old 16610. Last but not least, the new ceramic series. This is a 1140-60 ceramic bezel. 3130, I believe, is the caliber movement. It's got all the modern improvements for the movement, and you'll notice the case on these are a little wider. They're more like a cushion case. They've really widened out the lugs. Might even be a little longer height, lug to lug. Got a gloss dial, Maxi dial. The indices are bigger. And one of the best selling points of this watch is, of course, the Glidelock clasp. A much improved bracelet and clasp system over the Fliplock. Just a gorgeous watch. I'd say if you're looking for an everyday wear watch and you got the coin, spend a little more and over a 16610 and get one of these new ceramic Submariners. They just, especially if you like a little bit blingier watch, they're a little bigger wrist presence, and they're just shiny. That ceramic bezel is just gorgeous, no doubt. And these have all the latest improvements from Rolex, and they are improved. You know, there's something to be said for the vintage watches, but there's also something to say getting the latest, greatest technology. And this watch will probably be in Rolex's lineup for a long time. And it also comes in a date. So let me set that down, kind of give you a shot of the three. All 40 millimeter. Like I say, you can see this just a little bit bigger size-wise. It's kind of an optical illusion. They're all 40mm cases. Personally, I like the slender lugs myself. I'm not a big fan of the wider lug look. I like the traditional tapered lugs. So those are basically the three models that you'll probably see out there for sale the most is these three. There's also a transitional model between this vintage and this vintage called the 16800 series, and basically they had a lot of improvements of the 16610 that replaced it, but they also had some throwback stuff. You'll see those for sale, and that's a nice watch to pick up, especially if you can find a matte dial version of it. 16800 transitional, they call it. So 5513, 16610 pre-ceramic, ceramic, the 114060, and you know, you can't go wrong with any of them. They're nice watches. So good luck out there selecting your if it's your first Rolex or your 100th Rolex. It doesn't matter. Right? Just don't get carried away. Shop around. You'll find a deal. They're out there. They're not that rare. See you later.